Hello guys, this is the second part of the Armory 3D series in which I will cover node trees and logic nodes, which are a kind of visual scripting. I recommend to download these projects from the Armory GitHub, Armory tutorials, templates and examples. After downloading and unzipping you have these folders here, and you can find tutorials like a tank game, a playground project and templates for first-person or third-person player games. But in this tutorial I will use the examples projects and open a simple one like object rotate. In this one you can see node trees in action for rotating this cube. In the 3D view you have a simple cube, and in the node editor there is a node tree. I will show you how to create this later on. For now let me just start the game and see what happens. I can press the left or right arrow keys for rotating the cube, and this is possible because there are two on-keyboard nodes added. The first one is executed when the left arrow key is pressed down, and the connected node is a rotate object node. With the vector node we define that we are going to rotate this object around the z-axis by a value of -0.1. So what I did here is to increase the negative rotation speed, and when I press F5 to start the game, you can see the result. This is pressing the left arrow key, and then I press the right arrow key, and the rotation is slower because the value is still 0.05. So this is very simple. Now let's add a new node for interaction with the mouse. I press B to select all these nodes. Could have also pressed the A key and then I press G to move them to the right. Okay, and now I'm going to add a new node. I press Shift and A, and here select Input on Mouse. I want to react on left mouse button down, and after that what we could do, for example, is to scale the object. So what I do is to add a Z scale node, connect it to the on mouse node, and then I duplicate this vector node and connect it to the scale vector. After that I set the X, Y and Z values of the vector for scaling, and I press F5 to start the game. Okay, rotation still works, and when I press the left mouse button, the object is scaled. Okay, the question is now, why is the cube affected by these nodes and not a different object? The explanation is quite simple. Let's select the cube and go to the Object tab, and here you can see, when you open the Armory traits, that a node tree is attached to this object and it is called rotation. And this is the node tree that you can see here in the node editor. What I want to show you now is to add a new object and add a new node tree to this. And this is similar to adding a script to the object. So let's for instance add an icosphere to the scene, then open the Armory traits and add a new trait. This new trait we set to nodes, and in the node editor we create a new node tree, which can be done by pressing this little plus icon. This new node tree I call icotree, and then just like we did before for the cube, we can add nodes to the node tree. So again I press Shift and A and create a on mouse node. Now let's say we want to hide the icosphere when the mouse button is pressed down, so I choose the node Set Visible. Okay, then connect this node to the on mouse down. But before we start the game I will define a material for the icosphere. Okay, just a simple material that it doesn't look too boring. And of course I have to set the bool property of the setVisible node to false. Then I press F5 to start, and when I click the left mouse button, the cube is scaled because the other node tree is still active, but also the icosphere is hidden now. What I also could do is to use a different object as parameter for this node. By default, it's the icosphere because the node tree is attached to this object, but if I set the parameter, for example, to the cube, then this object will be hidden when I press the left mouse button. So this was a very short introduction to node trees for the Armory game engine. I really hope you like it, and if you do, then please don't forget to subscribe. And if you would like to help this channel grow, then think about being my patron. If you have any questions or ideas, please add them to the comments below. Thanks for watching guys, and see you in the next one.